everyone. We are LaChiMoLaLa,
LaChiMoLaLa.
and we are here to review Run BTS episode 151, the continuation of Staycation, which I am really looking forward to because I couldn't figure out what the game was about. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen next, except I knew that somebody would be sleeping, probably Suga.
And you were right.
Tammy, what'd you think?
Oh my goodness. Okay, can I just tell you that this episode made my heart all warm and fuzzy? Like,
Aww.
like it's just they worked so hard, and I felt like these two past episodes was very intentional from the producers. Just for them to actually just chill. From the preview it looked like, oh, like maybe they're going to do some games, or I mean, obviously they did that guess how many won or whatever that they did, for their prize money. But they're kind of extra sometimes with the games because that's Run BTS, right?
Yeah.
But no, like they just wanted them to chill, just wanted them to relax, and that made my heart like, oh, like it was really heartwarming to see, because like they really are super busy. They're ambassadors to everything, and now that they're special envoys to, like, hello.
I mean, they got diplomatic passports. They're the face of Korea.
Yeah.
Like, how much more busy can they get?
Yeah, they're the face of Korea, travel, Fila, Louis Vuitton, like the list just goes on, and they're constantly busy. And
Mhm.
so for them to have like this run, like, and do this Run BTS like obligation, and I feel like they're just doing it for us, for us to be connected with them, and just to see them chill and relax and be like, oh, we just want them to, you know, do whatever they want, kind of thing, is so nice to see. You
I
don't
know
see that.
neither you or I have watched In the Soup, but that's what everyone says is so awesome about it, is that they're really just like, they're not doing anything, but
Yeah.
that's really enjoyable because they're always doing something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this episode too. I thought it was so nice how they all just got to hang out. I was dying that the moment they got in their rooms, Jin got straight into bed. He was like under the covers, like everyone else is talking on their tablet, and Jin's like, "Yerp, right into bed." Like, he doesn't need anything. He's good.
Yeah.
He was making me laugh so hard. And also the fact that the first thing he did was order a game with his food, because Jin is like addicted to video games, right? He's played them so many times in Run BTS, and when they're around, he cannot focus on anything else. He's just like, game, game.
Okay, not gonna lie though, the game that he chose is pretty cool.
It was
Like,
cool.
yeah, the whole like Mario Kart thing. I think that was a Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch. I should know this.
I think so.
I was an ex gamer. I should know this. But
You're not an
yeah.
ex gamer. You're just on pause, right?
Yes, I'm
We'll
on
get one
pause.
soon.
On pause for like a decade. but but yeah, like, just he's so funny, like everyone's eating and he's just there, like playing the video games, and then like playing that Mario Kart game. I'm like, oh my goodness, like if his
I
mom
have to
was.
say, I loved when when V shaded him about the mist. By the way, great product placement. But when V was like, "Oh, this is, it helps with wrinkles." Jin, did you use some? Like, so shady,
Oh
so
my
shady. I
gosh.
was
Okay.
dying.
B was hilarious when he said that, and then freaking Jin like reeled in Suga too, and he's like, you better mention Suga too," And
He's only
Suga,
1 year away from also being old.
yeah, and then Suga caught back, and he's like, hey, I'm still in my 20s, okay?
It's like, you're the old one. I
I
just thought that was
know.
so hilarious. Like, and I love how Jin was like, okay, you've already used it. Yeah, but we didn't like talk. So let's go back. Let's all pretend we haven't used it. Like, you can tell they've been doing commercials forever. He's like, this isn't cute. Let's go back. Don't just tell me you used it. Now we're all going to use it together. Like, it was so funny.
They were all in sync too, and they all went along with it. Like, no one said like, nah, bro, like, can I do something else? They
What Jin
all just
wants,
played
Jin
around.
gets.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, All right. And they all sprayed that mist. Okay, kombucha though? It smells like kombucha.
I was like, that doesn't smell good to me.
Yeah, it doesn't smell good to me either, but
I mean, granted, the only kombucha I've really come into contact with was I used to know a girl who literally made it under her coffee table, like just had these giant vats, like a brewing under her coffee table. I personally have never tried kombucha, so I'm sorry to all the kombucha fans out there, but like, I don't know. When you see it happening, it's really unappealing.
yeah, I'm sure, especially when you saw the whole process of fermentation and stuff like
No,
that.
no,
So
no, no, thank you.
yeah. I tried it before, not a huge fan of it. My mom's really into it. She's trying to get me into it, but I digress. Don't like the smell,
Oh my God.
So
So why would I spray it all over my face? I mean, I guess if it really prevents wrinkles, then I will,
yeah.
but not because it smells good. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I guess they like the smell of kombucha.
One more weird thing that they like.
Yeah.
What
Or
about
maybe
how they all ordered the same dish?
okay, Jjapaguri. Okay, that
Hmm.
was okay. I wasn't sure exactly what it was. All I saw was deliciousness, and I okay, classic fashion again. Google saved me again. So if y'all don't know what Jjapaguri is, it is a combination. It's actually instant noodles. Instant
Really?
noodles. Yeah, instant noodles of chapaghetti and niyoguri seafood noodles combined together.
Well,
And chapaguri is actually the equivalent of what they call ramdan. And that, my friend, is actually coined recently by a person named Darcy Paquet. Oh, I'm so sorry if I have not spelled this person's name right, but it's Paquet. You could Google him, but he is very famous in Korea. He's a film critic, but he also enjoys like Korean indie movies. So he started this whole website. Again, digress. But fun fact, but he coined the term because he felt that chapaguri was really hard to describe. So he called it Ramdan. And now people use it all the time. Like RM used it at the end of the episode. And basically it's like ramen and udon, like together. That's what he
okay,
called
yeah.
it. But like, yeah, the texture of the noodles are a little bit different. So
I'm
then
so
you
glad that you do all the research. I'm so glad that you Google every word you don't understand. It's so nice for me. Thank you.
yeah, it's just a curious mind. So
It sounds delicious. I mean, it looked delicious. And then did it have like spare ribs on it or something? Like there was some
it,
sort of meat topping.
yeah, so they had ribeye in there. So
Ooh.
and it's really funny because there was the part of the episode because everyone pretty much ordered chapaguri with ribeye and it made me hungry and it made me wanted to do it. And I had chapaghetti and I had like, the another type of ramen noodle, not niyoguri. So I guess maybe it might not be chapaguri, but like it was similar to it. So I made that ramen for myself to eat. And I had, instead of ribeye, I had tri-tip. So I just like made it.
Works, works.
Yeah, it works. But yeah, they had I believe it was ribeye in that episode.
So if
So
the goal of this episode was to make us eat ramen, you're saying it worked.
it worked. It worked 100%. It worked. So I was like, man, because I told myself, I was like, all right, I'm not going to eat ramen for like another week, or so, because I ate it last week and it's full of sodium. It's not good for you. JK, you should know this by now. Not good for you because the sodium is not good for you. But the bro likes carbs, and who doesn't like carbs? So I
Yeah.
get it.
Disclaimer, I probably eat ramen at least twice a week. So I
Okay.
love it. But if I run out of kimchi, then I usually don't eat it. It just tastes so much better with kimchi. I
Oh
love it.
yeah. Everything tastes better with kimchi. Come on.
But yeah, I was dying that they were all ordering like they already said that the menu was full of stuff they liked, but the amount of people who ordered the same thing, like weren't there everyone ordered I'm gonna butcher the name. Everyone ordered the
Jjapaguri.
thank you. And at least four people ordered the gorgonzola pizza. And
Yes.
then a couple people ordered the burger, a couple people ordered like the eel with rice, like
Yeah, it was like
um
V and sugar.
V and Sugar had almost the exact same thing. They both had the ramen. They both had the eel with rice. They both got a fruit juice.
Yes.
Like, I was like, wow, they're the same person. Also, I wish I could go to a hotel in the States and get watermelon juice. Sounds amazing. I was like,
Yeah.
damn. I feel like when you go to a hotel in the States, you can only get orange juice. I really love apple juice, and 9 times out of 10, I can't even get that. It's not even on the kid menu. It's like, why
Oh.
do you only have one juice?
How dare they?
How
How
dare
dare they?
Watermelon's like way above their pay grade. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you know, it is the Marriott, so and
I
it's a
guess it is
luxury
whatever.
hotel, so you're gonna get that watermelon juice, you
You're
know?
right. You're right. It sounds pretty darn good. But that was
Yeah.
hilarious. And then I loved how when they were all eating, everyone was watching something different, but just obviously watching. It's like, what else do you do alone eating? Of course, you're watching your phone or your TV.
Okay, let's rewind a little bit because like who brought up was it V that brought up pushing everyone to like go to Jungkook's suite?
No,
He's one
that
of
was
them, right?
J-Hope, right?
Oh,
J-Hope was like,
J-Hope.
shouldn't we all get together and share our food? And V was the one who originally was like, no, because who's going to clean it up? You're just going to go there and make a mess and not clean it up. You're going to leave it at JK's room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then yeah, quick veto from JK. He's like, nope. And
He
then
was like,
everyone
don't come here.
yeah.
He was
Permission
like,
is
don't
no. Yeah, so everyone just stayed in their own rooms and like
Mhm.
RM watch YouTube and JK watched his Netflix.
Oh,
Okay,
did you look up Steel Troops
I
since they
did.
specifically said what it was? I knew you would. So what's Steel Troops?
So
Because it looked very intense and he was having a lot of reactions to it.
okay, so Steel Trooper is basically a variety show, but they basically do like a lot of, I think, obstacles or something along those lines. I briefly read through it, but it's full of like different military branches like pretty much competing.
So
So
is it
like the
like a
Navy,
Ninja Warrior kind of a thing?
it's kind of I think it's similar to like that. I didn't YouTube it to see like what an episode or watch Netflix to see what an episode would look like, but now I will. But from the description, it's a different military branches like doing crazy things.
That's so random. Like that seems like such a weird show to be on TV. I mean, I guess not, because everyone there does the military service. So it's
Yeah.
probably like more interesting because most people have experience with it. But that seems kind of random. I can't imagine them having something like that here.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing I could think of that would be somewhat I mean, not even close. No, but like more like they'll have football games that would be like Navy versus the Army,
Yeah.
I mean, not BTS Army, sorry you guys, the actual US Army. Or
Sidebar, I was
Marines or
talking
something.
to a non-army and I said my army friend in Vegas and she was like, you've never been in the military. And I was like, oh, sorry, my friend who I enjoy BTS with in Vegas. I had to clarify. So I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there's something kind of similar. But it did feel kind of meta because we were watching a variety show and the guy in the show was watching a different variety show. So it felt a little meta.
Yeah.
Not quite as meta as J-Hope literally watching Run BTS. So we're watching BTS, Run BTS, while J-Hope watches a different episode of Run BTS.
Yeah, I which is hilarious. Did you catch which episode it was? Because I
Yes,
didn't.
of course. It was the other one that they did in a big hotel. They did it at not the Mandarin, the Mandal no, not Mandalay. Something with an M. I'm gonna get this. Now I'm just thinking Mahjong, and I know it wasn't that. I should know this because there's one in New York and one in Chicago.
Okay, let me start naming all the MGM.
No, it's a fancy one.
Okay, Mandalay Bay.
International something or other.
I was like, what's other M
You know
stuff?
what? If you want us to feature your hotel in our Run BTS reviews, you've got to let us stay there. So if you're watching this hotel, get in the comments and we'll feature you next time.
Yes.
But I was dying that it was a different one in a hotel. And of course, it was a water one, which are everybody's favorites, including J-Hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was such a good episode. But yeah, I love that he was just watching it and laughing. But nothing is as cute as our little meow meow Sugar watching cat videos.
Oh my
Adorable. And
goodness.
the look of sheer joy on his face and how he was like giggling to himself about the cat. Like, mm, it was perfect. I think even the subtitle said, "Now you can die and go to heaven."
Yeah.
Like you're watching Sugar enjoy cat video.
Yeah. And you see J-Hope walking in and saying, I've seen that before.
He totally spoiled it. He was like, "Oh, you know what happens? This happens. This happens." And he was like, "Oh, really?" And Sugar was kind of like, "Oh, really? Like, why are you spoiling it? Let him watch it. He's enjoying it."
Oh man, J-Hope is so funny. Oh my goodness. And then you have the boys, Jin and Jimin,
Mhm.
playing games, of course, or playing with the remote controller Mario Kart, and Jimin being super cute about the whole thing. I'm like, I'm just watching this. I'm like, what are you, 10? You know?
I know. And then he like caught himself and he was like, "Whoa, I'm playing with this like a little kid."
Yeah, and J-Hope caught him too.
J-Hope was like, "I'm embarrassed for you. I'm watching you." Like it was weird because it was like J-Hope was watching him on the nanny cam almost while he played.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Hmm.
And this once again proves that Jin may be the oldest member, but he's pretty much also the golden mankey as well because he is like a 5-year-old, which I adore. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't act your age. But it's hilarious. He should be in the young line. It makes no sense how old he is. No one would believe it. No one.
Oh my gosh, he's so young at heart, and I just love it. I just feel like if his mom was around, his mom would be like, Jin, why aren't you eating your Jjapaguri? Like, eat that, please. Why are you not eating your pizza? It's cold now, you
Uh,
know?
Oh, I
So,
loved when Jimin like suddenly was role playing with him. He was like, "Sir, which piece would you like of your pizza?" And he was like
oh,
cutting it and serving it to him. Like Jimin can make his own fun. Anywhere he goes, he always just like makes up stuff and has a good time.
oh my
And he
gosh.
was adorable when he was ordering. Oh my God, he was like the most polite. Like, didn't they say? I think they've said before that he was like the equivalent of head boy at his school or whatever. Like the one who's like kind of the class president who like does everything right. Like you can totally tell when he's like ordering food or something. You're like, there he is, that super polite, like good with his
Yes.
manners boy.
He's so sweet. And it's so funny though. Let's rewind a little bit because like when he was ordering, he was like, "Hey, RM, what's Aribata?" Like what is that? And then V steps in and he's like, "Oh, it's a pasta." Okay, correction, it's a sauce. And it's Italian. And the meaning of that means angry in Italian. And yes, I did look it up.
Spicy. Is it spicy? Is that why?
It's spicy. Yeah, it's spicy, but the actual Italian translation is angry. But it's
That's so
really
funny.
the sauce is spicy though. So yeah, sauce made for pasta. But yeah, it's spicy. But I thought that was so cute too. Like screaming to
And
RM.
Jimin misheard him too. I forget what he thought he said, but he didn't understand at first. He was like, "What?
Sugar?
What is it?"
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. He thought he said sugar. He's like, "No, pasta." Because they were all talking over each other at the same time in their Zoom. It was so funny.
yeah, and he was so tired too. He's bored, and so he did that headstand on the bed. I'm like, what is he doing? And then like minutes later, you see V doing his thing. He's like, you guys, everyone, look, I'm at sea. And then he does like his own like little acrobatic thing on his bed, like diving into like, and all the boys are so cute. They're like, oh, show us what you got. Dive and dive. And he did. He dived into the bed.
I swear they all adore V. Whenever V's like, guys, I want to show you something, they always stop and watch. And 9 times out of 10, it's ridiculous. But they all are always like, good job. You've done such a, like, oh, that looked great. Like, they have no reason to. They just adore him.
Yeah.
They're just always supporting his craziness. And I am too.
Seriously.
But yeah, I was dying. That was so cute.
Yeah, and I love the effects though that that they did, like a little like a
Yeah.
water, on top of his bed and stuff. So that was really funny. Very
And
clever, you
can we
guys.
talk about the challenge for a moment? How
Yes.
everybody was like trying to do the challenge except for Sugar. Like the whole time, Sugar's like, "Who cares? Let's spend all the money. What are they going to do about it?" Like he
And
basically knew. He was like, "They're going to let us go over, so let's go over. Let's spend 100 million won."
and
He's
and
like, "What are they going to do?"
yes, Suga saying that, and then like RM pretty much calling out Jin saying like, you just want to spend money,
Jin's like,
So
"Mhm."
yes, I do. but I love that like what prompted them to just go ahead and spend the money was RM saying like, can I just be honest here? We're at a staycation, like we're still supposed to be laying here and like on our phones and
Right?
enjoying time, enjoying, ourselves. So I think that's what prompted everyone, right, to like spend the money. So
Yeah,
they went all buck wild
they
after that.
did. And as you mentioned before, JK loves his carbs. It was just like a nonstop eating show. And Sugar loves to sleep, so it was just a lot of sleeping. V was watching movies, which makes sense. Like everybody, and then Jin playing games, and Jimin, of course. The next morning, it was funny how he was like, "I really loved how we all got to spend time alone." He could not spend time alone. He had to go to other people's rooms because that's Jimin. Jimin doesn't actually enjoy being alone. He likes to be with other people, but that was also fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he and Jin hung out, and Hobie did the same thing. Hobie kept going to other people's rooms. Like he was like, "What's happening? I want to know. I'm coming over."
Yeah.
So I thought it was adorable. Like everyone, like you said, got to do something that they actually wanted to do, and there was no pressure. They just got to enjoy themselves, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah. Okay. And going back to RM, can we talk
Mhm.
about how genius he is again? Like every single episode that I feel like we always talk about RM and how smart he is in every single review that we do, you know? Dude.
Because it's true. Because every single episode he does something that we were like, how did he know that? How
Yeah.
did he figure that out?
Oh, it's in
We
relation.
got one hint. It was something about Run BTS, and he was like, "Oh, I know. Oh, that's easy. Let me just Google it." Like,
Yeah.
what?
Like what? Like when did we start a Run BTS again? Oh, August 1st. Let 8.1. Like I was like, whoa, what?
And it was amazing too, because all the other guys were like, "It's not going to be right. It's not right. It's definitely
Yeah.
not right." And he was like, "Let's see." And I loved when they had to check the script because they thought that they changed it
Yeah.
to make them right. And they were like, "No, it's printed." Oh my gosh, that's what it was.
Yeah. And I love how he's like, legend,
Yeah.
legend. Yes, you are a legend already,
Yes, you
RM.
are. And then Jin always trying to do a big gesture but regretting it instantly, telling him he could have half of his money. And then RM's like, "Really? Cool, thanks, bro." And he's like, "You're supposed to say no, man. Let's do this again." And then he asked him again, and RM's like, "Yes, please, thank you." He's like, "No, man."
You're supposed to look cool and like just say no.
Yeah, I'm looking cool by offering it, and you're gonna look cool by turning it down. And RM's like, "That's okay. I'd rather just have it."
And he said like, oh, if you don't give the money to him, if you don't give the money to RM, you're gonna look uncool. One
That's
of the
I
guys
think
said
that
that.
was I think that was V maybe who was
Yeah,
like, "No,
that sounds
you're
like
gonna
me.
be uncool. You better do it."
Yeah, okay. Speaking of V though, like he was so considerate though throughout again, his personality, like you mentioned, pretty much every episode so far, because that's his personality, right? So he was so sweet about like spending the money. He's like, you guys, cheeseburger, whatever else he said, like that's the cheapest, like being considerate about how much money that they would spend. And then he thought about JK and the smell of all the food in the room, he's just so thoughtful,
He is thoughtful. He's always trying to make sure that like everybody has a good time. He doesn't just want to have a good time by himself, Jin. Uh, yeah, like even when at the end he really wanted like to play a game, and he was like, "JK, get me a game." And then when they figured out it would be too much, he didn't make an issue out of it. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't push it. He wasn't like, "But I want a game." I mean, he did ask a lot.
yeah,
He
he
did
did ask
check,
3 times or so, you
but
know?
when they figured out what the amount was, he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Leave it then." Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's not selfish or anything. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
so
even like yeah, and even when they unveiled the, how much it was, the 8.01 one, like he even leaned over or talked or whispered to like JK and said like, I'm really glad you didn't get the game console.
right? Yeah, he was
Yeah.
happier that they won, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, as a team.
Hmm.
By the way, since you did all the research, how many dollars is 8.1 million won?
As of today, because the exchange rate, it
I knew
may
you would
have
know.
been
I knew it.
it
I
may
knew it. You are a genius. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it may have been different, at the time, but as of today, $854.
Oh wow. Oh okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like so much, but then so I guess it must be more like remember. Well, Italy hasn't had lira in a long time, but lira used to be like everything was. It started at like 1,000, so
Hmm.
everything sounded really expensive, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
So that must be the same there because I'm always thinking I'm like, whoa, did they spend like $8,000? No, they spent $850. They're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So 1,000, so they spent, well, the prize money was $854.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
how much? But they spent 8.01, so that was.
Oh, now you're making me do math now. Okay, let me do math on
What's
this
the
live
exchange rate?
feed.
I actually
So,
know a website where you can look up what the exchange rate was on that day because they said it was August 1st.
oh, yeah, well, I did not look it up like that, but it's around $6,800,
Oh,
so
okay. So
close.
they did spend quite a bit. All right,
Yeah,
because I
so
was like,
about
they must have spent some money.
yeah, about like 7,000 for all of them, which is like
Yeah,
not a big deal
yeah.
for 7 guys who ate like a bunch.
Yeah,
So
they did eat a bunch, and who also probably make that within like 5 minutes. So
yeah,
I
with
love
our
how
eyes
they're always
closed.
so humble. Like the prize they won, they were like so stoked. And RM even said he's like, "This is like the most prize money we've ever won on Run BTS," and they were so excited about it. It was like
Yeah.
another instance of you being like, "Guys, you're like billionaires." Like
They're
it's so cute
total.
that you get excited over like $100.
I was like, yeah, the prize money is $854, which I'm really glad that they're grateful about. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, you guys wear Louis Vuitton, you know? You
Honestly,
guys,
V would rather have a Tata mic. We all know it's true.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
definitely doesn't cost $800.
yeah. But I mean,
I love
it's
how they love
so
small
nice.
things. Like they're
Yeah,
very appreciative of the little things, and like anything that's a gift is a gift to be, enjoyed and savored. And it reminds me to do that,
yeah. It's so amazing. Like you said, like they're so humble, and I just completely love that about them. Like they're human too, and I feel like they forget that they're celebrities.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like they forget that they're celebrities, and then I feel like they forget their status. Like, well, status celebrity, that's redundant, but like I feel like they're still 15. Like they understood, like I guess going back to like their trainee days, it's something that they constantly remember, and they constantly bring up. And so they're so, and they didn't live very lavishly back then. They were in bunk beds in a very small room, in a cramped area. And now they live in multi-million dollar homes, but they just remember, like where
and
they
maybe
came
part of that
from.
is because it wasn't super easy for them. They had a really rough time. It's not like they hit it out of the park right away. I mean,
Right.
they did have a lot of fans right away, but the scale they're on now is definitely beyond their wildest dreams. So I think it's cute because it seems like even they can't believe it. So like you're saying, they don't act like it because to them they're just still those boys from Korea just
Yeah.
trying to, stay afloat, which is
Yeah.
really, it reminds you that you need to stay like grounded and just like be more focused on the people around you. I think because they have each other, it's easier to stay grounded, like that's why I always thought it would be better to be in a group than to be a solo artist because first of all, everything would fall on you, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure. And then once you're doing really well, it's hard to like see yourself as a normal human being because you're like something else, They're a
Yeah.
brand when they're together, but on their own, I think they still think of themselves as normal dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
So cute. So
Yeah.
cute.
And then one of the reasons, one of the many, many, many reasons why we love them so much, they're so humble and uh just love that.
So I kind of feel like the producers took it easy on them because they're gonna really slam them with something next week, probably something physical. Or maybe they just felt bad because they made them build all that furniture. They made them do like a lot of work the episodes right before this.
Yeah, the furniture one was that was very tedious. Like
Yeah.
again, I'm wondering how long it took them to film the whole entire thing
Oh
because
my gosh.
yeah,
So long.
yeah,
Like 12 hours probably or more. Because we
yeah,
only saw it for 31 minutes.
yeah, yeah. And especially like okay, with RM2, like being lost with like how to build things, like come on, it probably took a very long time.
Right.
So
I think Jimin made one table.
one table for sure, and then directing everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have
It,
been me. I would have been like, I made something. We're good, right?
girl, I wouldn't even make anything. I'd be like, yo, Ikea, can you come here, please? Yeah, can you come here and build this? Or I would have used my chance card way in the beginning. I'm like, come on, So
Oh man. Well, do you
yeah.
have any final thoughts for these two episodes?
Like I just well, going back to like I'm really surprised that they didn't play like their little games and stuff like that in the hotel room, but it's nice change of pace, like where they just did whatever and just chilled and relaxed, and you kind of saw that side of them, and it's nice and refreshing to see, and so again that brought warm and fuzzy, that warm and fuzzy feeling to me, like okay, they're being well taken care of, but other than that, like I'm just excited for the next episodes, and I totally agree with you 100%, like even though these couple episodes may be like, oh yeah, it's kind of a maybe we should tone it down a little bit because of the whole furniture we made them build like forever. Now the next episode's not going to be chill, they're going to do something, so I'm looking forward to that. What about you?
Hopefully they'll play some sort of sport because we all know that half of them are amazing and half of them are terrible, so it makes for good comedy. Yeah, I really liked these episodes, even though they were like really chill and laid back, same as you. I just thought it got to show us a different side of them. And it's probably going to give us a bunch more gifs of Jin eating on the internet. If you guys
Yes.
haven't Googled that, you should. There's literally a million of them. So I think we all like to watch them eat. I think they do it a lot and we enjoy it for some reason. It makes us eat. So, always like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just thought it
Yeah.
was chill and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a low key episode, which is completely fine because, all of their episodes are normally like pretty like them, the cameramen chase or and women chasing them around,
Oh,
or
see, we
whatnot.
didn't even talk about that. This was a chance for the cameramen and women to have a break too. Staycation sounds a lot better than running after JK in the middle of a giant village, right?
I think the whole staff had a break,
Hmm.
and even the producer too, maybe, like well, actually he answered all of their phone calls, for their orders. So maybe he
Still,
worked
that was
them.
probably stationary, right? He was
Yeah,
probably sitting down next to a phone, pretty chill for
yeah,
rubbing toilets.
yeah, yeah,
룸
yeah.
서비스라고 하면서
Good
감독님이
point.
왔는데
All he needed to
So they
do
all
was,
got a reward.
yeah, all he needed to do was just take everyone's order.
Doable.
Yeah, do all those. Well, I guess that's it for our recap of 151. So we are
LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Pew, pew, pew.
Ah.